A-plus effort, that he can always count on that from you. Can you talk a little about how what you do is a contrast to some of the other people's skill sets in this rotation?
I mean, I think for me, I think I know, what I do best. I know my job. I know what I'm supposed to do when I get on the floor. And I think overall that's what our team is too. We all give a lot of effort. Sometimes, we just either have bad starts or we're a little bit slower. Sometimes we just need that extra boost. And I know when I get put in, that's what I'm there to do. So, and, it's my job to make sure that I play with the most energy I can, get those 50-50 balls, play defense, communicate, and just give our team some life. And, I think we all do a great job of that, including our staff and the guys that aren't playing or that aren't in the game and stuff like that, that we all need that boost. So I think for the most part, when I go in the game, sometimes we need that. Sometimes we're not hitting shots at the beginning of the game. Sometimes we're not getting stops. So, we just need a little bit of life. And I know my job when I go on the floor, that's what I do.
What when Fox really had it going, they kind of sicked him on you. What did you focus on when you were trying to slow him down?
Just trying to give him a different look, make him not as comfortable. I think, it started off with just getting back in transition. He's really good in transition. If you don't get back and you don't communicate, whether that's me on the ball or somebody else, he's just going to have a field day. So I think for me, I just try to focus more on, trying to get back, or if I was up, just to pressure him a little bit, just to slow him down a little bit. But he's so fast, so you got to be able to contain and not push so far out that he just blows right by you. And, he's a good player. He also figured things out too. So it's a collective effort on our end. But it starts with just getting back and trying your best to contain him, just getting him a different look, and, just do your best to make it basically make it as tough as possible. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Christos?
Hello, Cody. Congratulations on the win.
What
is the aspect that made this team so special, made those comebacks during especially in the fourth quarter of the game?
A lot of it has to do with just trusting each other when we're out there on the floor, and making sure we're not afraid for anyone to make those plays. We all know our job. Sometimes we might be on, sometimes we might not be, but I think, for us as a group, it does take that effort, and for us to just be locked in the entire game, and especially at the end of the game, you can tell that we really hone in on those things that we need to do, whether it's getting stops, whether it's making shots, whether it's a big rebound, whatever the case is. And ultimately, I just think that we have a lot of fun playing together and trusting each other while we're out there on the floor, and just making sure that we all are basically on a string in terms of whether we're on offense or defense, and just trusting each other, trusting the next guy that's in the game, and just playing as hard as we can. Good things happen when you play hard. So,
Richard?
Cody, Richard Walker, CarolinaSportsHub.com. How much momentum is this team taking on this upcoming road trip? It's going to be a challenge, but you go in hot after everybody's healthy and 3-0, start the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we need that. We know what we're going into, and we have a lot of tough teams that we're going to go play, and we understand that we're just going to have to be just sharp, from start to finish, playing those teams and making sure that we're all on the same page, whether we're hitting shots or not. I think for us, it's just about going in and knowing our job, and like I said before, just it being a collective effort, and understanding that it's going to take, from start to finish for us to be able to grind those games out, because we are playing some tough teams, and we're just going to have to make sure that we know our job, and know going into the game that it is going to be tough. So it's going to take a lot of effort on both ends of the court. And, we've been in those positions before. We've been down before. We started off well before. It's just about how we finish up.
Danny?
Cody, Danny Thompson with the three-point conversion. It's been well documented about your defensive skills since you've been in Charlotte, even back in college at Nevada. But when did you realize, or when did someone first tell you that, hey, that you're the guy that can guard people on defense and lock them down at times when need be?
I don't know. For me personally, like I've always, in my head, I've always really took a lot of pride in doing that. Obviously I just had to prove myself in those games to guard those guys that do have the ball and that are the other team's key players and stuff like that. And I do my research. I watch film and make sure that I'm on point, to make sure that, I'm be able to do my best and try to make it as tough as possible for those guys, because that's what I know our team needs, and that's what I need to do. I know what my job when I step on the floor, so I have to make sure that I'm sharp as well, and for me, it's just about having that confidence. Just as much as it is having confidence on offense, you have to have the same thing on defense and knowing your job and making sure you're staying sharp on both ends. So for me, it's just about having that confidence, and obviously, going into it, learning more, learning from the staff, learning from the vets, and things like that. And that's just being able to broaden my game and making sure that I'm staying sharp too, and making sure that I'm broadening my game and basically not staying content on what I do, but making sure that I'm expanding as well and learning along the way. So a lot of that has to do with self-confidence and knowing what I'm doing my research, studying, knowing my job. And a lot of that has to do with confidence coming from my teammates and staff, and understanding that they know that that I take pride in doing that. And, at the same time, it's like I said before, it's a collective effort. It isn't one guy just guarding that person in every single possession. It's a team effort. It's about communication. It's about us helping each other along the way. So that's what we're doing.
Filippo?
Hi, Cody. You had an hard time finding minutes in the start of the season. Can you talk to us how mentally tough it is to be ready as you are every time that JB calls your name?
Yeah, it can be tough sometimes. Sometimes you might play a consistent amount of minutes and consistent amount of games, and then sometimes you might not. And it's just about staying sharp and knowing my job. And whenever I'm being called upon, that's just being ready when it's time to step on the floor. And I think the biggest thing with that is just being a professional. And I'm not the only person that has to do that, whether it's on this team or in the league. It happens everywhere when people when we're trying to figure out rotations, when we're trying to figure out minutes, when we're trying to figure out flows. Like, some people are high, some people are not. Whatever the case is, it's just about staying ready and knowing when I get on the floor what I have to do in order to help our team be in a position to win the game at the end of the day. And that's what it's about, is winning. So,
Last question to James.
Hey, Cody. Getting out in transition, playing with pace, playing with tempo has been part of this team's identity since day one, right? Like, what goes into that, and what do the coaches what is their message to you on that front?
Just playing fast, just playing our game, understanding that we have guys that are lethal in transition, and we have a great group of scoring in transition, and a lot of that has to start with our defense and getting those stops so that we're able to get out. So, and then when we get in transition, we're a hard group to guard, especially when we're moving the ball and we trust each other and things like that. We're just passing. It's hard to guard. So, and a lot of that has to do with our guards and G and Terry and our bigs running the floor, Melo pushing the pace and things like that. When we're doing that and we're getting stops, it's hard to guard us. So we understand that. So that's why we really hone in on our defense and we communicate that we need to get stops. And when we do, we try to take advantages for the most part, and just try to take advantage of those stops and make life a little bit easier sometimes.